Today, we'll be looking at a very interesting topic titled attachment styles. I'm sure you heard of this before. It's basically, why do you love the way you do, right? And you might want to ask yourself that question. So let's take a moment to reflect. Why do you love the way you do? Hello guys, welcome to Soule Haven, a safe place where mental, family and relationship dysfunctions are addressed, providing you with tips so that you can live and become your best self. I am Emanuela, your talk therapist, and today we'll be looking at a very interesting topic titled attachment styles. I'm sure you heard of this before. It's basically, why do you love the way you do? Right? And you might want to ask yourself that question. So let's take a moment to reflect. Why do you love the way you do? Like I said earlier on, let's reflect on relationships, past or present. How have you behaved in your relationships? Do you have people call you clingy? Or do you have people say you are emotionally unavailable? Or do you have people say you have trust issues or you're secure in your relationships? Have you taken out time to think about that? Okay, let's dive into attachment styles. Now you might be wondering, what are attachment styles? Attachment styles is simply how you behave in a romantic relationship. But I personally have a theory that it's not just romantic relationship. It's also seen in other relationships that you might have, like friendships. Now, how are attachment styles formed? Attachment style is formed through the kind of relationship you have with your primary caregiver when you were a child. And most times your primary caregiver might be your mom or a guardian that was available for you. If your primary caregiver was always available and attended to your emotional needs like love, care, providing support to your ever-changing emotional and physical needs, there is a most likelihood that you would develop a secure attachment style. But if they were unavailable or unintentionally neglected your emotional or physical needs, then there is a likelihood that you have developed an insecure attachment style. I am going to look deeper into that. Now, the essence of this video is to educate you and help you understand why you love the way you do in your relationships, so that you would be able to move, if you have an insecure attachment style, to a secure attachment style. And that moves us to type of attachment styles. We have the secure attachment style and the insecure attachment style. The insecure attachment style is divided into three, and we'll be looking at it in details. One, we have the anxious preoccupied, we have the avoidance dismissive, and we have the anxious avoidance, which is disorganized attachment style. So let's start with the secure attachment style. Person with a secure attachment style knows how to regulate their emotions properly. They have a healthy self-esteem. They can trust others easily, they can communicate effectively, they can communicate their needs, communicate their wants. They don't struggle with seeking emotional support when necessary. They are comfortable being alone and independent, and they have the ability to self-reflect. Now, all of these things I mentioned, how is it formed? As an infant, if your primary caregiver was always available, attending to your needs, I'm not saying they were perfect, but if they were perfect in attending to your needs, then you'd likely develop something that is not healthy. But if they were always available, attending to your needs as best as they could, making sure you felt loved, protected, cared for, assured, supported. If this was what you experienced as an infant, there is a likelihood that you would develop a secure attachment style. So somewhere within your subconscious, you begin to develop this trust for others. So you're able to depend on others emotionally, and others can depend on you emotionally. There is this consciousness of a healthy self-esteem because you know you are deserving of love due to what you experienced as an infant from your primary caregiver. Are we getting this? Take our time to reflect about this attachment style I just talked about. Does this sound like something you practice? Does this sound like your attachment style? Let's move on to insecure attachment style. I have three different types, and we'll be starting with the anxious preoccupied attachment style. Just like the name, persons with this attachment style, they are always anxious in their relationships. They always need some sort of approval and need reassurance from their partners, wanting to know that they are loved and cherished in their relationship, even when the partner is doing their best to make it obvious. Somehow they are not just satisfied. They are highly sensitive to criticism. Sometimes they feel like they are not deserving of love, and that's what makes them clingy and always wanting to prove themselves in the relationship. They fear distance or being alone. So when your partner brings up boundaries or needs time alone, they feel threatened, like the relationship would be over or the partner wants to move on to somebody else. So they are always clingy to their partner with an intense fear of rejection. Now, how is this attachment style formed? Persons with this attachment style, as infants, their primary caregiver was not always available to attend to their emotional needs, which leaves them anxious, thinking if their needs will be attended to or not. So because their primary caregiver was not always available, was not there to suit them whenever they need that suiting, was not there to provide the care as often as needed, somehow they feel that they are not deserving of it. Are you getting something? Yeah, so persons with attachment style, this is how it begins to develop, right? And sometimes it might not be an intentional act from the caregiver, but somehow in the mind of the child, it is registered that probably he or she is not deserving of this love and care. So when they grow up, it reflects in their relationship and they just want to prove, they just want to be clingy, they just feel like if they get so much on their partner, then they believe that this person lost them. Meanwhile, it's unhealthy. Now, moving on to the second type of insecure attachment style, we have the avoidance dismissive. Just like the name sounds, they are avoidant in their relationships. They're also dismissive, right? So whenever you hear people that are kind of emotionally unavailable, this is what we're talking about. Whenever you hear persons that they are scared of commitment. So once a relationship is becoming too emotional, where they have to be vulnerable, or people are now becoming too vulnerable to get emotionally, they begin to distance themselves. These persons, they avoid intimacy. They are hyper independent, meaning they feel they are whole and complete without relationships. But you know the truth, we all need relationships, healthy relationships to thrive. We all need to depend on each other and have people depend on us emotionally to thrive. That is how we were designed. Nobody is an island. These persons, they also have issues expressing their emotions, right? Because they find it weird. So I don't know if you find yourself in that space. You just find it weird to communicate your emotions, to communicate how you feel, or hearing people being vulnerable to you, it makes you feel somehow. These persons, they also have trust issues and all of those. Now, how is this avoidance dismissive attachment style formed? It's formed when, as an infant, your primary caregiver neglected you emotionally and even physical. They didn't attend to your needs. Unlike an anxious attachment style, your caregivers attended to your needs, but not consistently, right? When the avoidant dismissive attachment style, they neglected your needs. It was not attended to. So somehow you were forced to self-soothe as a child. So in your mind, you were conditioned to begin to self-soothe yourself emotionally. That's where the hyper-independence started from. Are you getting this? In your present relationship, you just feel like you can soothe yourself emotionally and you don't need other people in your space. And moving on to the last insecure attachment style, we have the anxious avoidance or disorganized attachment style. Just like the name, they oscillate between anxious and avoidance. Now, persons with this attachment style, they're mostly anxious in their relationships, highly scared of rejection. They are unable to regulate their emotions and they have contradictory behaviors. What I mean is that if they tell you this, their behavior is revealing something else. So they say, oh, this is what I want with this relationship, but your behavior is showing something else. They say things like, I love you, but they're kind of emotionally unavailable. Persons with attachment style, they have high trust issues. They want to be loved in a relationship. They want to have an intimate relationship, and they distance themselves whenever it comes. So they are anxious and both avoidance. Now, how does this attachment style form? It could be that as an infant, your primary caregiver was struggling with trauma or some other issues that made them become both a source of fear and comfort to you. So your primary caregiver that was supposed to be a source of comfort, a source of love and support, also became a source of fear because of whatever issues they were dealing with. So their chaotic behavior, accompanied with a momentary touch of love, just made you confused as an infant. So in your subconscious mind, you are not sure of what to receive from persons in a relationship, which makes you anxious and also avoidant. So you're scared, you want to be loved, but you're scared of what to receive. You have difficulty trusting others. This is how it is formed. Remember, the essence of all of this is not to judge you or isolate you or make you feel like you are less of a person if you have the insecure attachment style. The essence of this is to help you understand and bring you over to the secure attachment style, because that is the best way a relationship can thrive. Now, how do you develop a secure attachment style? I'm just going to give you 4 steps, and I believe these 4 steps would help you. 1, you have to acknowledge. What does it mean by acknowledge? What do I mean by 1? You have to acknowledge, and that means you have to first agree and accept that this is your attachment style. You have to accept that you have this insecure attachment style and you are willing to change to a secure attachment style. You don't have to be disillusional or keep on lying to yourself that you have a secure attachment style when you don't have a secure attachment style. The second thing is to speak to a therapist. You can reach out to a professional therapist who would walk you from your childhood traumas up until the point where you are now. They would help you understand things better, how you can build a healthy self-esteem, how you can understand that you are deserving of love and care, right? And it would help you in your subconscious mind to understand that what you had experienced then as a child does not determine what you should have now. You are deserving of everything good. Third step is emotional intelligence. You have to become emotionally intelligent so that you can understand your emotions properly and be able to use them and empathize with your partner. You can understand your partner's emotion also, and so you'll be able to communicate effectively and handle conflicts better in your relationship. The fourth tip is you have to develop friendships with people that have a secure attachment style. Now, persons with secure attachment style, they are able to give love and help you feel loved. So when you develop relationship with these persons, you feel loved, you feel valued, and over time it begins to rub off on you how to behave in a relationship. I hope these tips help you. If you found this video helpful, please do well to subscribe, like this video, and share with your loved ones, because trust me, it's going to be helpful. And you can share with your partners. This is one way to help them understand themselves better without you saying it to their face. Now, this brings us to the end of this session, and I'm happy you stayed till the end. Kudos. Till we meet again.